All right, welcome back to the Virtue Bowling Supply YouTube channel. My name is Chris, and I'm here to bring you guys the high-rev perspective.
And my name is Josh, and I'll be bringing the low-rev perspective.
Today, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Storm Next Factor, and I'm going to be comparing that to the Rotogrip RST Hyperdrive Pearl and the Brunswick Energize.
And I'll be comparing it to the Brunswick Combat and the Rotogrip Rockstar Amped. These videos will give us and you an idea of what these pieces look like going down the lane. At the end, we will give our honest, unbiased review anywhere from nuts to trash. Today we're here at Bolero Mesa on a fresh house shot, and with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you out on the lanes.
All right, after seeing the Next Factor go down the lane, boy, this one hooked a ton. There's a decent amount of friction out to the right here today, and so I felt like when I got to the friction, this ball wanted to go sideways. Definitely the first couple of shots, which seemed borderline uncontrollable, if I'm being completely honest. The more shots you kind of get on it, and it tamed down a little bit. Moved a little bit further left to catch a little bit more oil in the front part of the lane, just to see it float a little bit further down the lane, and it seemed to blend out the friction a little bit better that way. Just getting a little bit of oil on the cover and it not quite having the same teeth that it has out of box tamed down the reaction. I struck a decent amount of time, so overall I feel like ball motion was good, but it's borderline uncontrollable how much it hooks out of box. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw the RST Hyperdrive Pearl and see how that compares. All right, after seeing the Hyperdrive Pearl go down the lane, this one to me felt like it has a bigger core. I felt like it also had a cleaner cover, where I felt like I had to be a little slower with my ball speed to really see the friction the right way. But I felt like if I got it too slow, it was sideways kind of no matter where you threw it. The Next Factor, I felt like I could throw it pretty hard and it still would hook. So to me, the RST felt like it was a little bit more down lane, a little bit quicker to friction than the Next Factor. All right, after seeing the Energize go down the lane, this one's a much stronger shape, a bit of a stronger cover, wanted to be a little bit slower off the friction. Couldn't really shape it and really see it be as quick to the friction as the Next Factor. I feel like the Next Factor was clean enough to get to the fronts and retained so much energy that it just went through the pins really, really well. And the Energize didn't quite want to see or retain enough energy to hit the pins hard enough to actually strike. So ball reaction with that one didn't look the greatest. All right, final thoughts on the Next Factor. Based on the first few shots, I felt like this one may be a little too uncontrollable and might not be quite as versatile of a piece. But the more you throw it, and it kind of seemed like it tamed down a little bit and didn't quite have the teeth out of box. I feel like it was a little bit better and a little bit more blended to the friction. Honestly, with how much this one hooked and it really saw the friction and kind of kept going no matter where I threw it. Personally, I feel like that'd be really useful for a lot of people. I'm gonna have to put this one in the fire category. I am curious to see if this one stays a little bit too uncontrollable as far as down lane motion, especially on something that's a little bit flatter.
Just threw 10 shots with the new Storm Next Factor. This ball for me immediately loved the way it looks going down the lane. I was excited to throw this one because I've heard rumors that it was kind of like a dark code V-bow kind of shape, but for me I would say it's kind of perfectly right in between those. First couple shots I stayed a little right and it was definitely still quick to friction, but once I got a little steeper, a little bit further inside, it really started to shine. I felt like it was a little bit allergic to oil, and where I did feel like it needed like a 2000, just not super shiny, because I felt like that didn't allow it to actually get off the inside part of the lane. But overall, like, I really like this type of ball, and this one is just kind of another on the list where for me I feel like I can really throw it on any type of house shot really after game one once they start to hook just a little bit. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw 5 shots with the Brunswick Combat and see how it compares. just threw shots with the Brunswick Combat. This ball for me, I did feel like was just a smidge cleaner. These two are pretty close, but I did feel like the Next Factor was just a hair more forward and smoother and more rounded, where the Combat wanted to be a little bit more sharp off of friction. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw 5 shots with the Rockstar Amped and see how it compares. Just finished up throwing shots with the Rockstar Amped. This ball compared to the Next Factor was a little bit cleaner, and because it was symmetrical, I definitely felt it want to get down lane a little bit more, where the Next Factor was a little earlier, a little smoother. But I do think that this is the kind of the next ball down, where, like, again, the Combat, I think it was a little too close, you know, kind of pick one or the other, but this ball is definitely one where once the Next Factor starts to go, be a little too strong, Rockstar Amped, I think, fits right in there. Final thoughts on the Next Factor. For me, this ball, again, was a ball that I love the way it looked. Any dark bowling ball typically tends to roll pretty good, and I felt like this one fits right in there. For me, overall, I did feel, like I said, the friction, got to friction, it was nice, but when I got to oil, just needed a little bit of surface, but I am gonna tinker with that. I also wanna see it actually on long, because I think it would shape really nicely on longer, lower volume stuff. For today, I am gonna have to give it a meh. This one was kind of tinkering in between fire and meh, but again, I just felt like it didn't strike enough with it to give it a fire, but I really still do like the shape. And again, gonna give this one a chance to kind of tinker with and experiment a little bit more down the road.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video useful, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.